I'd like to call over the regular meeting of the Perry Municipal Authority, January 3rd, 2022, at 6:17. Roll call, please.
Wines. Here. White.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Dilbeck. Bond.
Here.
Coldarn.
Here.
Stroller.
Here, I do declare a quorum. Signing the invocation will be by Reverend Josh Bell.
Would you please pray with me? Almighty God, we thank you for the opportunity to serve our community. We ask that you would be with the family of Mike Morrill and his ward in the midst of their loss. We ask, oh God, that everything that we do is pleasing in your sight and everything that we do is for the glory of your kingdom. We ask all this in your Son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number one is the consent agenda. There's a few items there, or one item actually, sorry.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines. Yes. White.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Coldarn.
Yes.
And Stroller.
Yes. Item four, consider, some comments from those assembled pertaining to the items on the PMA agenda. Hearing none, we'll move to 5, proclamation, commendation, reports required by the governing body. Hearing none, any new business that needs to come before the authority this evening? No? Item 7, motion on adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Wines. Yes. White.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Coldarn.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to call over the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Perry, January 3rd, 2022, 6:19. Roll call, please.
Wines. Here. White.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Dilbeck. Bond.
Here.
Coldarn.
Here.
Stroller.
Yes, I'm here, thank you. I do declare a quorum. Item number 1 is the consent agenda. There's 2 items.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines. Yes. White.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Coldarn.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item 4, comments from those assembled pertaining to the items on the city agenda this evening. Hearing none, item 5, proclamations, commendations, reports required by the governing body. I just do want to take a second as a council and acknowledge the passing of our councilman Mike Morrill and let his family know that our thoughts and prayers are with him. Item 6, consider publishing notice and setting a hearing date for February 7th, 2022 at or after 6:15 p.m. to consider the changes in the ward boundaries and approve proposed ward map. We had a meeting today. I had something come up with a family member. I couldn't get to it, but Derek and Kevin were there. And Shishamita, is that right?
Yes.
I couldn't believe I said that right. She came over from NODA and they all went over. You guys need to say anything? You want to address anything? You're more than welcome to.
I mean, the thing is corrected. Thank you. Thanks goes to, we corrected something, and now everybody is almost same number-wise.
All right.
And can I ask you one thing? Isn't the public hearing first? 6 o'clock? It was the public hearing first.
Today?
Yes.
No, not today.
On which item?
February 7th.
On the ward maps.
Oh,
No,
no.
I'm not talking about the ward maps. I'm talking about
Capital
CIP.
improvement plan.
I'm talking about CIP.
Oh.
That's why the notice was there, public hearing first.
Well,
It didn't get in our agenda.
no, that was all emailed to your, to NODA's attention, all those, the agendas were and all the items were,
No, it's already posted everywhere. Dixie knows that today you can see the public notice.
oh,
That-
well, then
We can do it right now, I mean,
Well, then we can have it right now. I mean, if the notice is posted.
The notice is already published.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the only obligation to publish the notice, but, and that notice is actually a agenda item. So, yeah, we could commence with that. Why don't you?
I can, I mean, if you tell me to. Because whenever we do a comprehensive capital improvements plan, first time it was supposed to be in December, but
Right.
we didn't publish it. So now it was, today is the capital
Okay.
improvements plan.
Can we have this inside this meeting?
Or do we need to recess?
Yeah, we can recess right now. We can go off that notice. We're a little late, but I don't think anybody's left. So if you want to proceed with that public hearing, it's really just to hear comments on our capital.
Right.
Just to hear comments on our capital improvement plan. And are you prepared to kind of address that
Yes,
plan? Good. Then let's. Why don't you make a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to
Recess.
recess this regular meeting
And begin the public hearing.
and begin the public hearing.
Second.
Roll call.
Wines.
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Now I'd like to call to order the public hearing.
you guys have the notice, put it places, right? And it was for third today, right?
I believe so.
Yes. Okay, so for last, everybody probably, you guys looked at it maybe sometimes? This is the capital improvements plan that we are doing from last 2020 August. First, I started with the fire department, and then Jesse and team and Brenda and Varman and Melissa, everybody is, everybody contributed towards this. So-
The gist of it is tab 7, the last page, if you want to turn to that, that's really the gist of the capital.
I mean, it is a little bit more, but
Yeah,
this
well,
is
it's
just
of course much, but this is the summary. Yeah, summary.
And I can show you that apart. This is the airport that I worked with Terrence. I mean, we did over 400 points GPS, and there is no area that is left over. I mean, we went to Lake Perry and CCC Lake, everything that you have, the city owns, we GPSed it. And then from Vernon, it was hard to take everything from Vernon, but finally we did that. I mean, tried to with him to waterline, and then everything that city owns. And while we were doing that, we found out some of the old, things that are on insurance you have, they don't even exist. So, not many, a lot. And people that helped me in doing that, everybody, starting from Lee, Chris, Jesse, everybody participated in this program. So if you guys, anybody want to know what's the list is? List is too big, as he said. That is the gist. Did you have a chance to look at it?
The great thing about the capital improvements program is that, you list everything as mandatory, essential, or, what are the other?
First is, one is essential.
Desirable.
The first one is mandatory, that you cannot live without it, like usually water source. Then it is essential. You need it, but you're not dying for it. Then it's desirable. You want it, but you can live without it. And then last one is deferable. Maybe down the line, 5 to 7 years, you will need that, but go ahead and do it, write down. Today we added, as you asked for, the barn, street department, they need a barn, so we just added that. And a couple of things you already completed that we started with, so we took it out. And anything else, Larry? Anything else?
That's it for right now. Yeah.
For right now.
I remember us doing this, not too far back when we were making all this with the department heads. And if I remember right, you said it had to be on this list in order for us to
Yes.
file for a grant in the future?
Right. It's the Oklahoma Department of Commerce, they prefer that, you know that you are not going to get everything. But it's better to, write down what you need. Maybe some other department will, give you grant. So everything that you guys wanted is here. It is here. So down the line, you can just look at it and CDBG, you can apply from that list one by one.
I remember doing it, I'll say it right quick, because the chief ain't here, Thomas. Everything he wanted was right at the top. It was like mandatory everything.
I know, there is a lot of mandatory.
Yeah.
That, you guys asked for it, so I just put it there, but I know that you're not going to get everything, but maybe water and sewer, that is the main thing.
And when we apply, if it is in fact mandatory, then we get more points. If it's
Yes,
in our
it
plan,
looks serious, yes.
Yeah, we get, yeah, if it's, exactly, yeah.
So if you have any question, go ahead and ask me. If you don't, then I'm done.
Any
And the
questions?
purpose of the hearing is for any member of the public that.
Yeah, if any of you guys have any questions,
Yeah.
feel free to ask.
And I had beautiful maps. Sometimes I will send you, because I know that you guys are going to make it, somebody is designing it for you, like your own website for Perry, GIS.
Correct.
Yeah, but all the maps that I did is me, no doubt. No matter who designs it, I just want you guys to know that. So I had everything in PDF, but you guys don't have a big TV so that I can show it. So maybe I will just send it to you.
A big TV on the list here?
It did not, I'm surprised, small towns, they have a big TV. I just put the flash drive and that's it. It shows. But I'm surprised that you guys don't have one.
Tyson's all the time wanting all that stuff, so let's not ruffle his feathers right now.
We tried
We tried like
We
twice.
tried to help Tyson out, we haven't.
Twice.
But you have all the maps, like water, sirens and streets. And there is one map that is, I think, will be handy. Okay, this one is like all his Russells, all the sirens that, yes.
So Smita, what format are those maps drawn in?
PDF, I'll give in PDF format,
Okay. Was it drawn
RGIS,
in
art map, yes.
art?
ESRI,
Okay, art map.
not CAD. Okay, this one, you are going to get it, big format, but this one, I just showed all the things that you guys own, and, each one showing everything.
That's neat.
Did you guys GPS all the fire hydrants?
Yes,
Remember, I thought you said that.
yes. How many times I slept, let's say I did 400 points, that means I slammed my door 800 times, because you get up and get down, get up. Everything is there. You name it, is there.
Good. It's a lot of work, we appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
I do appreciate the comprehensive list that you have.
Bless you.
That's helpful.
Okay, and I'm going to give you a PDF, the whole thing, the book in a
Okay.
PDF format, and all the maps, digital and paper.
Okay.
And I will give you two because Russell wants one, because, they help me a lot.
Okay, very good.
So they need fire hydrants.
Did that have the flow also?
Yes, that's why I, color coordinated, like, if it is more than 1,500 and if it is less than 250, it's one color. If it is 500 to 700, that is another color. So yes,
Cool.
it is. Anything else? I guess no.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from the public? No? All right.
So the next thing is when I'm gone, please adopt those things.
All right, if there's no questions, we will adjourn the public hearing. Motion to reconvene.
Second.
Okay. That's not where it's headed, but it'll work.
I like it.
Okay, I think we were on number 6. Consider the publishing notice of the hearing. Date February 7th, 2022 at or after 6 p.m. to consider changes in the ward boundaries and approve proposed ward maps. So
she walked out, but there was just a couple little boxes that we moved. I can't remember the exact total, 19, 30? Okay. From Ward 3 to Ward 1, which ended up making Ward 1 and Ward 4 have the same quantity, and Ward 2 and 3 have the same quantity, which put them 1119 and 1123 each. So. And straighten the line just a touch. Just a touch.
Earlier, we'll make it a little bit straighter.
Does this map affect anybody that's on the council now? Does it?
I don't know, but I think we determined that if it did, they were grandfathered basically until the next election. It quite possibly does, actually, even before the changes we made today.
I think we looked at it and it doesn't.
Doesn't?
So who would it affect?
Not me.
I was thinking it was close to Amber, but
Amber.
I think we
Holly.
looked last time and it
It
doesn't.
doesn't? Okay.
I'd say she's on Holly, right? She
Yeah.
was right on the line before.
It was 9th and between 9th and 10th, something like that on Holly.
Yeah.
I think she's good, Derek.
Okay.
Not is the boundary line.
Yes.
It depends on what side of the street she lives on.
She lives on the south.
So she's good. If I look at this map.
Where's Subway?
No, Holly's a block
So
south.
where's
I'm
her
sorry.
house?
Is that right?
Subway.
Yeah, I think Holly's a block south of the dividing line.
Holly.
Or is it?
No, it's right on the line. Holly and
So Holly would be south.
Holly and Ninth is on the line.
Well, is the street south of Holly or is the street north of Holly?
That's that
The
alley.
word that says Holly.
Oh,
Yeah, this is the alley between Holly and Ivanhoe. That's
An
a-
alley?
Yes, an alley can divide it.
no.
So I think Holly would be the
It goes up
one.
to the Ivanhoe, because there, yeah, that's Ivanhoe.
So
That's
Holly is
for-
completely in Ward 2 for.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
So, we get a motion to set the date?
That's our regular meeting night, isn't it? Motion to approve the date,
Yes.
February 7th.
Second.
Roll call, please.
White,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yeah.
Stroller.
Yes. Item 7, discuss and action to approve, should we take action to approve the complete contract of 18029 CDBG-CIP 20 for the City of Perry Capital Improvement Plan and all closeout documents, and accept the project as completed, to include but not limited to. You want us to take these one at a time, Bryce?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
A, approval of CDB GOCIP Capital Improvement 5-Year Plan adoption by resolution number 2022-01.
Motion to approve item A.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item B, approval of CDBG GOCIP Capital Improvement Closeout Resolution Number 2022-02.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. C, acceptance approval of CDBG GOCIP Capital Improvement 5-Year Plan recommendation.
Motion to approve item C.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item D, approval of the CDBG GOCIP Capital Improvement Needs 5-Year Plan Summary.
Motion to approve item D.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item 8, consider award of bid with Boyd Construction in the amount of $98,500 for the drainage maintenance and repair project near Stillwater Medical Center Specialty Clinic, and authorize the mayor to execute the public construction contract. We got a giant sinkhole right up next to Dr. Seal's old office. So, we're gonna award this to the lowest bidder, Bryce, correct? Any
I
information?
don't know. Have
Larry?
you heard from?
I did not hear anything from him today. But he is the lowest bidder.
Always kind of makes you wonder when there's such a big difference between those two that are higher and then that real low one. Makes you wonder if they're gonna do the job complete. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Bryce, you've had experience with this firm before, correct?
Yeah, they have, well, the former trust manager up in Blackwell really brought him to this area. And I do know that they've done a lift station, he did a sewer lift station for Duke Energy there, which was a couple $100,000, and they were pleased with that work. You know, that's what I know. He also has bid on a sidewalk project up there, which they're in the process of letting. They've awarded the bid, but they're talking about when they're gonna do it. His problem here is that he feels that there may be some injury to the northeast side of the building, and that's
Caused by the work.
caused by the work he has to do. Now, Willie Sheets has gone out there, and he doesn't think that that's the way it is. And quite frankly, Steve Taylor's property management person doesn't think that that's going to do. You just need to go slow, and you know, I mean, if something happens, stop, and then we'll reassess. So I tried to do the contract in that manner, but I wasn't going to limit the indemnity clause, you know, so that, I mean, if he tears up the building, you know, we're responsible, you know. So, I mean, that may be why he hasn't signed the contract. We do need to get this done, but
Can we approve this pending a timeframe?
you could
And then if not, it goes
award
to
the
the-
bid and execute the contract if it's approved the next 14 days. You could do that.
Well, 14 days we'll be back here. So,
Right. Yeah, and then we'll know, or continue it, but,
Approved as contract is written?
I was thinking approval in 7 days, and if not, it goes to,
well, yeah, it would be
Yeah.
as the contract's written, because, I'm not gonna change it much,
Right.
I mean, otherwise, we're gonna be at this higher price. The whole question, you're balancing risk, and, the contractor doesn't want the risk, and we don't really want the risk,
well,
and
don't bid it then.
and Stillwater isn't willing to give me a pass, so it's kind of a difficult thing. But as far as I know, this guy can do it. He has the giant heavy equipment, and I mean he ought to be able to do it. But that is in fact the problem. ML Boyd or ML Young, they've done airport work. They've done. They were
Little one,
that-
we're a water plant?
yeah, they're the ones that put the clarifiers and that in there. They did the water lines, the east-west water lines north of Fur. I mean, they've done a lot of work here. But as you can see, it's 40,000 more. However, they're not providing any issue. Quite frankly, if we're going to use those, the engineer went out and got those bids. Okay. And so if we wanted to do anything other than award it to Boyd Construction, what we'd really have to do is go back out for competitive bids, with a 20-day posting and all of that.
Well, do you think you can get it signed in the near future? I mean,
Well-
can you give him a 7-day notice, or 7 days?
Sure. Well, we can tell him that you can award the bid, and you just award the bid and see if he signs the contract. And
Contingent upon-
if he doesn't, we'll bring the contract back to you. Or, we'll bring a new process back to you. Because at this point, the bid on this, the estimate on this was 58?
Somewhere around there.
I mean, it was low.
It was low.
It was maybe 58 in the cost of the pipe, or 50 in the cost of the pipe, or
No,
something.
from Cowan, I think it was 72,000
Okay,
with the pipe that we wanted, that
Right.
we wanted.
but it's, it's lower than that, and so as you can see, I don't know if these bids are reflecting that issue. Because part of that sidewalk, I understand, or part of something is subsiding.
It's part of the parking lot that I think that Stillwater may be replaced already. So I was out there one day and it said that they didn't put enough pipe out from underneath the concrete that they were originally replaced. So this piece of pipe goes back under the concrete away, so if I remember right. Well, the reason I say I wanted a limited amount of time was, I don't want to give them 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks get here and they haven't signed it, we have to start all over. I'd rather have something on the agenda at the next agenda. If these guys don't want it, then we have something on the next agenda to move on.
Yeah, what we do is we'd have the formal competitive bid. At this point, since we have these higher bids, I would put it back out under the Public Competitive Bid Act.
So you'll do that on the next agenda if he hasn't got this signed.
If he hasn't got it signed. So, I mean, what you could do is award the bid. If he signs the contract, we'll bring it back with his signature on it, you can approve it. Awarding the bid doesn't do anything, doesn't give up any contractual rights, so there's no problem awarding the bid. Why? To bring it back, the contract or a new bidding procedure.
All right. We have a motion to award the bid.
Do we need to make it contingent upon signature?
No, I think you can just award his bid.
Meredith.
And I'm gonna bring the contract back to you in any event.
Drainage,
Okay.
drainage.
Yeah?
I wasn't expecting that, sorry.
Sorry.
Motion approved? I'll make the motion to approve.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Wines,
yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 9, consider waiving of competitive bid pursuant to city manager's certification and approve contracts with McGuire Iron Incorporated to installation work on the city's 4 water towers, namely Nob Hill 500,000 gallon tower for $15,300, 15th Street 500,000 gallon tower for $15,300, ODOT 5,000 gallon tower for $14,400, and a Skyline tower, it's $125,000 for $28,900. Mixer and installation. Designate an appropriate funding source.
No, this is under 100,000. I was given these contracts, they're under 100,000. Normally, you would go out, or you could, bid these, but you can take competitive quotes. In fact, you can take this competitive quote. I've significantly amended the contracts to put lots of good stuff in there for us, and they have agreed to it. The real question is, do we have an appropriate funding source? That's one question. I think the next question is, do we want to wait to do this and then bid this out as a part of number 10? And that's under the priority water lines and the other project bid it out under that. So we're not taking that from our ARPA dollars.
And that is already figured into item 10.
It is. But, it's a pretty good number. The real critical issue to me, if I was in your position analyzing it, I would say that since they put a provision in there that says they don't have a duty to start for 90 days, it's not going to help you this year. If we have a freeze, these aren't going to be insulated. They're not going to be insulated. So it'd be easy for me to say, maybe let's not do this. If you want to do 10, let's do 10, because it's not going to help you this year. I don't think, unless we have, we had that weird October, and then we had February, but it wouldn't be done, it would have to be an April thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of unlikely, but, I suppose it can happen. So they won't start for 90 days. If we approve the agreement now, we can try to go get some of this principal forgiveness dollars, and they have that worked into the numbers. Actually, if you look at it, there are a number of pumps that you got to get. Those are 40,000 apiece, right? Isn't that what they were talking about?
Yeah, there's one that we put in the budget that we normally have been trying to do, which is preventive maintenance every year on a particular pump, so that after 5-6 years, we have rehabbed all the pumps that have been rehabbed for
Right.
25 years.
And this is doing them all now. And then adding back the insulation for purposes of item 10.
I have.
Rebuilt pumps, aren't they? Aren't they the rebuilt ones?
I'm sorry?
Aren't they the rebuilt pumps?
Well, that's
Isn't that
what
he
we've
was
done
telling
in
us?
the past. No, we wouldn't have to, but that's what we've done in the past.
Larry, do you know anything about this process? Maybe it's the configuration of the tank or something? I mean, you got a tank that is 125,000 gallons, and it's $14,000 more.
On Skyline, that's to put in a mixer as well.
Oh, okay.
This is a smaller tower. It doesn't get the activity and the circulation that the others
Okay.
do. So that's the reason why, originally he had put in a mixer for everyone, for every tower, but really Skyline, and David, you may have a different feeling about that, but Skyline is just the one that is really, it's the one that froze up in February, because it just wasn't mixing and stuff like that. So If we could prioritize these four, Skyline would be the one I would really be most concerned about. The others are 500,000 gallons. They do get the circulation. And it could very well be that we just talk to the contractor and say, look, we'd like to do this. However, we'd like to have it done sooner than 90 days. Can you do it? Yea or nay?
If I might.
Yes, sir.
I'm Brian, I'm with.
Oh, how you doing, sir? I'm sorry, I didn't
Go ahead and
recognize you.
step up here to the podium if you would, and just give us your name and who you're with. And
I'm Brian Bridgers, I'm with McGuire Iron.
Okay.
So, the thing about the Skyline, the mixer's gonna help with water quality there as well, especially if you're not using a lot of water there and everything. The 90 days, I think that was more just in case, because we had to put in a number, you know? So, that's really kind of arbitrary. This time of the year, we're like migratory birds. We can't really work in the north anyway because it's too freaking cold up there to paint or do anything else. So it's a thaw tanks out. So really it's just a matter of materials, you know, acquiring the materials, which when I talked to my boss last, he felt like we had all the insulation on hand already and we could probably move on that. The mixers, that would be the only thing. I think when I spoke to Larry about a month ago, I want to say it was just, if we ordered, we could have them within about 30 days, I think.
I think you mentioned you had 3 or 4 in stock at
We had
that
about
time.
4 on hand at the time, so we could, you know, I don't know that those have been moved already, so, you know, we could go ahead and do that. Otherwise, it's just a matter of getting a crew, and then they would just come and they would go tank to tank to tank to do the installations and stuff, so. And from a shipping standpoint, because the insulation is so bulky, we'd want to kind of catch it all at once so that it wouldn't be multiple trips down. Just, we could load everything up on one truck and bring it at once, so.
just my curiosity, how's that insulation working on those tanks? Does it go on the interior?
It's to go around the riser pipes on the interior
Okay.
and stuff, just to prevent those from freezing, because you're talking about an 8-inch diameter, or 2 of them are 12-inch,
Okay.
according to the as-bills. And everything, and it's just to kind of prevent that, you know, from moving. Originally, it was to put the mixers in all of them too, because if you keep the water stirred up, you're less likely to have a freeze and everything. So, but that'll help with that smaller diameter pipe to keep the water, if it's just sitting there for a little bit, to keep it from
Well, I'm not saying
freezing.
that they won't freeze again, but last year was a kind of a rare situation.
Absolutely. You know, you would think we're below the frost belt where you don't have that happen and everything. So, you know, it just kind of gets into a deal where it's like, do you want to roll the dice on it again or not? You know, I don't know. So, but it's an option to for sure take care of that problem going forward, or at least help mitigate the potential of that problem.
So what would, not to hold you to it exactly, but what would be your projected time you could be here?
Well, ideally, if when we were talking about early December, if we could have gotten it signed, you know, done it originally, I mean, we were projecting maybe sometime in the middle part of this month.
Okay.
So theoretically,
45 days?
I would say by mid-February for sure it could be done, and everything. And, you know, if I had to, then I could just go ahead and twist a little bit if need be, and then get a crew to come in. I mean, we've got some other stuff going on over at OU that we're finishing up a project over there next week. I don't know that we can piggyback. I can't speak for operations guys, but, you know, if it was a matter, I mean, getting it done, then I could kind of go ahead and lean on them a little bit.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Discussion? What y'all feel like?
So what would the funding source be?
She sits over there. Don't look at me.
Unless Larry's done any other look into this, it would be out of reserves if we weren't gonna package it and do it as part of the OWRB loan forgiveness.
Okay.
It would be out of reserves.
We can't pay that back out of that.
We can't pay that back. We can't pay.
Out of
Reimbursed or
this,
something like that.
I'm sorry.
this,
The OWRB.
the forgiveness money, we can't pay that back in into the coffers. That has to be the part of this project in order to pay it out of that.
They won't reimburse us.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, they won't. In fact, I talked to someone with the OWRB, seeing if we could do a reimbursement resolution now.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I looked into, was there a way to do this? And the answer is no. And the reason is because they want it bid under those federal rules,
Yeah.
you know. So, you know, which is Davis-Bacon and, you know, and ensuring that the contractors are making sufficient, you know, wages and then, you know, all the paperwork.
Single audit.
So we either take it out of our reserves or we wait for this OWRB loan project, which will probably be summer.
Well, he had a more aggressive, if you saw the scope, much more aggressive scope in that letter that he proposed. You know, he was thinking that, you know, they could do something by April, but.
Well, that's the engineering, that's not the project.
Oh, yeah, building it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about
We just-
turnkey, you know.
Yeah, oh no, who knows when that would be, but we need to, you know, the important thing is securing the money.
No, what I meant was, these guys could do it now, or do we want to wait till summertime if we got it on this other project? Discussion?
If we do it this way, it's money we really didn't plan on taking in. I mean,
We gotta do something.
You know, on Wednesday, we have our mandatory pre-bid meeting on Phase 5 sewer. And we've had a lot of interest. We've got like 9 companies that are submitted interest in that, so that may be a competitive bid there, but that, you know, that's gonna be it's gonna be a bunch of cash too.
If everyone is not wanting to spend money, 75,000, it'd be better off just to go over into the OWRB loan and do it out of there.
Is that what you're thinking?
$75,000 is a lot of money we could save for a rainy day if something happened. I'm not saying it won't get that cold this year, but I bet we're all right. It may come back to haunt me.
Say, I don't know if you should say
You guys
that.
can all go, well, Bill said.
Even middle of February is pushing any kind of weather we're gonna have.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it colder late in the year, but not that, I mean, not. So what do you want to do?
How urgent is it that we get this done this winter?
That's what we were just talking about. We don't, I mean, it all depends on, do we trust it not to get as cold as it did last year?
Hadn't it already?
No?
No.
Sounds like
Been pretty cold to me. Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
That would have to be multiple days, probably.
I was just thinking if we were that concerned about it, it would have come up before now, when we're in January. I mean, we're gonna be talking about dipping into our reserves that much. We should have started talking about this back in our budget phases, and if nothing else before winter. So if we weren't that concerned now, I don't see why we can't move it to 10. Not that we shouldn't look into it, but if there's a better way to do it than dipping into the city's reserves, it's probably way better off. that way. Like I said, I just feel like if it's that big of a risk, we would have done it sooner.
I just think that way is the smarter way to do it, since we don't know what's gonna pop up between, I mean, we never know what's gonna pop up, really. If we're gonna have to dip into money that we didn't plan on spending, then
And you know, it got, in my mind, I know it got really cold last year. But the big towers didn't freeze. Just the little tower out south. So are they in jeopardy anyway? I mean, should we, I don't understand insulating them if it got that cold here and they didn't freeze.
Well, Skyline was out for 5 days.
That's what I said. I said the Skyline Tower.
And as I mentioned, that's my biggest concern, it's priority would be Skyline.
I just think that we're not having a discussion here, so maybe we ought to table that one and just push it over into the, we can sit there and look at each other for another hour. Somehow we gotta get off High Center here.
I think we should wait, but that's my opinion.
Push it over on to item 10, put in that bid.
I would,
Which it's already there, right?
Yes,
So-
yes, it's already there.
and I would do all of them. I mean, if we're gonna do it, we might as well protect everybody's water system, not just the Skyline.
All right, someone make that motion.
Second. I'm just kidding.
Table, I'll make the motion, we table item 9.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Schulman.
Yes. Item 10, consider approval of amendment number 1 to the owner-engineer agreement with Myers Engineering for the for the water system improvement project and designate funding source and appropriate $235,876.38. Mr. Attorney?
Well, this is our opportunity. If you remember at the last meeting, we asked Myers to give us a preliminary analysis, and they did give that to us, and I think it's reflected not only in the projected work plan, that's one of these documents, but it's reflected right on the agenda of what this could cost. I do think that the engineer is being very conservative. I've got a contingency of $500,000 in there, which is a large contingency. I did talk to him about I didn't want them to do the inspection. We have Will Sheets here. He does a good job, and I actually had a meeting with him today and spoke to him about that. And he said Bryce retired or semi-retired, and I said, well, yeah, you can do that after this if the council.
You didn't show him that figure, did you?
Tonight. Yeah, he saw it, but I told him, he saw the hourly on one of the other documents. It's the hourly, and of course, we've got him for a much better price. And he did make a comment, but then he chuckled. So yeah, but so I think some of these numbers, are probably high. I think these pump improvements. We have a bid right here for $73,000 for these pump improvements. He's got $320, and even if you did four $40,000 pump repairs, or bought new pumps, it would come near that number. So, I think this is very conservative. We've got to come up with what this funding source would be. It is reimbursable, the engineering fee. I figure ARPA funds. What do we have What do we have those ARPA funds going for right now?
I have not heard any project, I've not been informed of any project that we're restricting this for.
So this is water. This would be
It meets the-
this meets the criteria. This would be the one.
How, I was reading that email to you today about some more ARPA funds. When can we apply for the for the new?
Oh, it's open.
It's open now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it's a little bit, I looked into it after you left a little bit, and it's a broader scope than just the water sewer. So, and it's not open just to municipalities. So that money will probably, I mean, it's out there, so.
Yeah, the good thing about this is whether, you know, I mean, are there opportunities other than borrowing? You know, I mean, are there? Because we're gonna have, at the end of this, we're gonna have a shovel-ready, you know, project that we can make, you know, if, you know, a number of requests, and if we can get free money, not free, there is no free
There is
money,
no free
but,
money, there's no such thing.
money that's free to Perry, I guess. And that probably isn't correct either. But, you know, if we can, that's what this is about, so. You know, there are some communities that already have these in the box, you know, they've already been, you know, doing plans and specs and planning and that, but, you know, I think this is a pretty good plan, I think Myers did too. Matthew Coe has visited with Larry, he's out of Langston, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's out of Langston, so he's, you know, he's pretty close, and he seems very, very responsive. Unfortunately, he has the big C right now. Probably shouldn't say that, but he told me, so it's probably not HIPAA. I'm not his lawyer, but you know, but he does, and
He's got a cough? Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
A bit under
well,
the weather right now.
yeah, he's a little under the weather, but he's responding. He's responded, you know, every time I call him, even though he's got it. So, and they're going to be aggressive and get after this work. They want Perry's work. You know, they want Perry's
I
work.
worked with Matthew when I was in Guthrie in 2015, just a bright young man.
Yeah.
So do we have an approval?
So the money is for sure there, or we still have to go through a big application
No,
process?
for ARPA funds, we already have about $420,000, and we will get another 420. I want to say it's 5 or 7, I can't remember, but I'm going to say 425,000, December of '22.
Okay.
So yes, we have 50% of the funds sitting in our bank account right now. But they're restricted.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
White,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Coldarn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Any new business that needs to come before the council this evening? Hearing none. Item 12, consider convening into executive session to confer on a matter pertaining to economic development of the city of Perry, to discuss a proposal to entice the local location of residential developer to the community to build single-family dwelling duplexes and multifamily housing, and thereby approve the economic development of the city. As public disclosure, the proposal will interfere with the development and implementation of this proposal. Bill Woods edition pursuant to 25 OS 307 C11 of the Oklahoma statutes as amended.
So moved. Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Wines,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Coldarn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Second.
Second. Roll call, please.
Wines,
Here.
White,
Here.
Brown, Bond,
Yes.
You're a yes.
Goldar,
All the above?
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Here's some roll call.
Item 14, take any action deemed necessary pursuant to executive session, including not limited to the approval of development agreement with KMR Development LLC, Oklahoma Limited Liability Company.
Dean, motion
Hearing
to
none.
adjourn.
Item 15, motion on adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Wines,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.